John Calipari in Arkansas, dancing in his first season in Fayetteville.
To be able to say, all right, we're in the tournament. Hard road. It may be the hardest, but so what? We're in.
No good at the horn. Arkansas win. Arkansas wins at the horn.
This is the Morning Rush.
All right, so
there you go. Talk into the microphone.
Well, Matt likes to stand up, and he has the thing at the very
Matt taller
top.
than you?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's Hot Take Monday. Welcome into the Morning Rush. 877-377-6963. If you want to jump in here on the Lewis Automotive Hotline, maybe you have a hot take this morning. We have a lot of stuff to get to. Boogie is back. Arkansas is playing Kansas. Baseball team came back against Ole Miss. Clay Henry's going to be with us a little bit earlier in the program. Features editor of Whole Hog Sports. And we also have a lot to get ready for this week. I'm flying out to Providence on Wednesday, part of the country I've never been. I think there's a lot of Arkansas fans that have never been out there or whatever. It is a very unique a very unique spot in the NCAA tournament where you have John Calipari, Bill Self, Rick Pitino. I mean, there's a lot of connections. Self almost got hired at Arkansas. Pitino coached at Kentucky and is now like the Cal dynamic is always interesting if we even get to see that in round 2 on Saturday. I'm really excited, not just about Arkansas, but 14 SEC teams make the NCAA tournament as well.
Hey, it's Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale, where the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party is scheduled for April 12th and 13th in Rogers. They'll be teaming up with Moix RV with all the best brands like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, all on site. Financing on site, plus a variety of vendors and bounce houses for the kids, all sorts of stuff. 2 big days, the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 on 549 in Springdale. First of all, it's just good to be back at the tournament. We were having a little meeting before the show here this morning, and, last year, no bowl game. Last year, no March Madness. And now you get both, at least in the last season. May not have been the kind of regular seasons you'd hope for or wanted in either sport, but isn't this a world better than what we lived through 365 days ago?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you may not like being a 10 seed. You may we all wish they'd won more games. But isn't this a whole lot better than what we experienced last year? Or I guess about this time, we were trying to figure out who the coach was going to be.
Yep. And in the midst of like 3 weeks from now, right before the national championship game started, John Calipari's name was being mentioned, and surely enough, he became your head coach in April. So again, it's been a whirlwind of sorts for a lot of different Arkansas fans. Chad and Texarkana texting in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying that intro gave him chills. Cold and well done. Love it. Let's freaking go. I just think so you have a blue blood school you get to face. They've really struggled this season, 2 years removed from a national championship. It's odd to see Kansas in really the form that you're going to face off against. I like the bracket, just kind of where you are, not just I think it's unique going to Providence. I was dead set on this team winding up in Lexington, especially when I saw Louisville at the 7. I was like, all right, here comes Arkansas at 10. And I don't even remember who Louisville's playing that opening round game. But it's not Arkansas. And again, against our, not better judgment, I should say, but our best guess, you're winding up playing way out east. You think about just the SEC matchups that they have. Florida ends up winning the SEC championship. They're as hot as any team in the country right now. I know you kind of predicted that based on what they were playing and everything else. But I'm excited. I hadn't filled out a bracket just yet. I know some people filled out one last night. I still got to look at the complete thing. But you got legitimately told where you were going the very last segment of the bracket, which I know that's had some people nervous and everything else. Even Cal kind of joked about being nervous, which was kind of interesting and funny. But the important thing is that
we're in. Anybody looking at this saying we may not get in? We're in.
And that's, again, Cal alluded to that several times yesterday. We got a chance to catch up with him last night. We'll play some clips and everything else, but enjoyed hearing from him and excited where this team could go starting Thursday night at 6:10 on CBS.
Louisville plays Creighton. You didn't want to be there because the winner's likely to get Auburn. So who's lost 3 of their last 4. We can talk about that in the SEC championship and what a tournament that turned out to be. But just you're in. I watched a clip of a video last night that was out with. He had the team over at his house, and the announcement came out. So this is a step in the right direction. You are better off now than you were a year ago, and I'm interested. And I know we can have deeper discussion throughout the morning about Boogie Flan and how he's going to fit in this offense and whether or not he should run the point when he comes back. All that's, I think, up for an interesting conversation this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, we'll get into more of it. Clay Henry, features editor of Whole Hog Sports, going to join us momentarily. It's time to get into our opening drive.
0-1 pitch. Swing. Fly ball deep right field. Sanford going back. It's over his head and out of here. The Hiba Aloy has hit his second home run of the ball game. Aloha, Aloy, Aloha, the lead. 1-2. He struck him out swinging. And that's it. This game, this series belongs to the Razorbacks. A 12-9 win for their third consecutive series win in Oxford.
This is the opening drive presented by First Financial Mortgage in Fort Smith.
And we bring in our friend Clay Henry, features editor of Full Hog Sports. Clay, they ended up clawing behind, getting a victory yesterday. Dave Van Horn gets to 900 wins over the weekend, and you got a series win against Ole Miss to cap it off on Sunday, right before you found out where you were heading for the NCAA tournament.
I mean, I was tickled to death. Watched a lot of baseball, listened to some of it. You kind of moving around on Saturday and Sunday, and we had a wing ding at our house, and we actually had we're making s'mores out in the backyard and had the TV blaring on the back, and pretty good time. Yeah, I want to tell you, Ole Miss Arkansas in baseball, that's a rivalry.
oh yeah,
It might be the rivalry. I mean, I know we like to play Texas and LSU and, that kind of stuff. So,
yeah, and Saturday's game was entertaining too. Arkansas was that the sixth inning? Went back to back to back.
Fifth
inning, back to back home runs. I'm watching that, and here comes Bianco out to give the hook, and he brings this new guy in. First pitch, home run. Second pitch, home run. Arkansas just had their number, and that was fun, but I think it was great to see him have to compete and claw through the weekend to win the last two.
Yeah, I think it's it was just a special time for Arkansas baseball to the way it all went down, and it doesn't get any better than that. And that place was playing a little small, wind was blowing out. I mean, it's the home runs are piling up for Arkansas. It's a nice time. I got to, guys, give you guys a little bit of a story here. So I did the interview with Cam Kozel about 2 weeks ago, and he's a fly fishing guy. And, I volunteer. In fact, I'm at the fly shop today, the Two Rivers Fly Shop in Norfolk. And Cam and I are talking, and he's catching bass with a broken fly rod. Behind center field, caught a 6-pound bass out there, but he's got this old fly rod hand-me-down. It's got like 6 inches off the tip. Well, I got 20 fly rods, so I said I think I'm gonna give you one of my old fly rods. He's just gracious. Anything I can make it with this. And I said, no, I've got some I don't use. Tommy, you got stuff you don't use. Old golf clubs or old spinning rods. And so I came back to Drew Zamato, who owns the shop, and she goes, don't do that. We're going to do an NIL with him. So I think a new Orvis Helios 4 is coming in today, and I'll take it over to him. And no cash. He's going to get a fly rod, fly reel. He's so fired up. He hit I think he went like 6 for 9 this weekend. Most guys, their batting average goes down in the SEC. His went up 70 points. So
wow.
He's batting 370 now. So I think he's behind the Loy brothers in Iredale, but he's number 4. And I mean, he was in the middle of a lot of that stuff, a lot of hits, a lot of big hits. So I think it's pretty cool. And I mean, I didn't ask Drew to do that. She just like, hey, it's and Drew's like, well, he's kind of cute. I said, okay, you're old enough to be his mama. Let's don't get into that. So, but anyway, there's a little story there I thought y'all might enjoy.
I think they didn't want you to tell the public that there's a 6-pound bass in that pond out there. Is what they probably didn't want.
Now they're mad at. Yeah,
there'd be everybody trying to scale the fence.
He found it, and it's been there for a while, and nobody's found it.
Yeah.
And I tell you what he did. He took a kayak with this long pole that they use on the grounds crew, and he went over there and tested depth from the kayak until he found the deepest spot in the pond, which he thought there was no depth anywhere. He found it, and he caught it, and he has pictures of it. But he's got a beautiful cast. He's terrific, and this is not my deal. This is Drew Zamato's deal with Two Rivers Fly Shop, and I'm sure there's going to be some social media. That's what it's all about, right? And he'll get a Two Rivers Fly Shop hat, which is pretty cool. It's got that Grateful Dead logo with the trout in the middle of it.
Yeah, the one you gave us. Yeah. Those are cool. Yeah. All right, that is your opening drive here this morning, brought to you by First Financial Mortgage. Ethan Adamson, Bree, and their entire team can help you out with any mortgage question you have. Ethan's been with the team for over 13 years now. First Financial Mortgage has 90 years of mortgage experience, so I had plenty of questions. Ethan was able to answer all of mine. Give them a call at 479-782-9300, or you can go online to ffb1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
You see this $10 bill I'm holding up?
I'm confused.
You know whose pocket that was in yesterday morning?
I'm going to guess
Ethan Adams. Yeah, it's in Ethan's pocket. Guess whose pocket it's in now?
It's Tommy Kraft's
pocket after a day at the golf course.
So you let Ethan let you beat him?
Well, it was a little team event. Ethan beat me. He had a much better score than me. But, again, this $10 bill right here.
I thought we were getting a raise, Colton.
Yeah. Let's not get carried away. Not a full 10.
That would be.
This may be I only bring it up because it may never happen again.
Clark. He's gambling on the golf course. I get it.
100%.
Clark in Fayetteville texting in on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying that's a great story, Clay. Really enjoyed hearing that from you. Another text. Let's see. This is from Doc in Omaha this morning. He says, I don't think that's an old text. Sorry. Guys watching baseball all weekend, our entire lineup looks like football players. The strength and conditioning coach needs a raise. I know that Nolan Souza didn't look like a freshman last year when he stepped on campus, Clay. And again, those guys being in the weight room and everything else, and then getting ready for either their sophomore, junior, depending on what they're in season.
Hunter Bell. Yeah, Hunter Bell is their strength coach, and that's in my story. I think it is the home runs. They're happening because these guys they're all ripped. Actually, Cam was like 218 when he got to campus, and they list him at 200. I think he's 205. But he's firmed it up. He said he had football weight. Now he's got baseball weight, just strong and been in there pumping that iron like Nate Thompson.
So I got back from Nashville yesterday, and I was in here, and I was watching the selection show. I was listening to Phil, which I would guess a lot of you were you guys multitasking, doing both yesterday. So it was a great experience. I love when Phil gets hyped after baseball wins. He was very much that way after beating Ole Miss, and then again watching the selection show while kind of trying to do some work and everything. Here's some of the things I jotted down outside of Arkansas stuff. Where again, if you're just jumping in with us here this morning, Arkansas will play at 6:10 Central Time on CBS against the Kansas Jayhawks this Thursday. Some guys that didn't initially play in the first game, like Rylan Griffin, former Alabama transfer, and then Hunter Dickinson and Shaquille Moore. Arkansas did not have Jonas Adu or Big Z. So those were, again, you didn't have your full complementary of players, and Arkansas still won't, probably with the new Thero being out, but Boogie Flynn is back in that game. So put aside what I jotted down in the NCAA tournament. Guys, when you saw, I guess Seth Greenberg got the text from Cal, and that was made public either on ESPN or he put it on his social, and then Arkansas put out the report. I say report. They put out the thing on Boogie. Here's what Cal said about that.
They came up to me yesterday about Boogie, that he had good workouts and he's going to be able to practice. And they called the doctor, and the doctor said if he thinks he can go, let him get through practice, and I'm good. He wants to play. The greatest piece of it was Boogie saying to me, I don't want to screw them up. I just want to help. And I said, well, you may play 10 to 15 minutes, but so what? He said, I'd be good. And I said, we may need you more. I don't know. But then I grabbed the team and said, it's not really changing anybody's role or what's going on. We just have an eighth man. So instead of having 7, having foul trouble, or having 2 or 3 guys not play well, which is normal stuff, now you have a little bit of breathing room.
Clay, thoughts on Boogie coming back, man?
Play defense, relieve some of these guys that have been looking for help. And I think if you get a few minutes in the middle of each half, those guys should be stronger and shoot free throws a little better at the end.
We got this. So the release says this: barring any setbacks, he is anticipated to be available to play in the NCAA tournament. Had successful surgery on January the 22nd with the UCL on his right thumb. Played through a couple games after injury near Florida. And then they spouted off some assist to turnover ratio stats, which he has some of the best in college basketball. Guys, I think my question is, it was the same question that I had when he was playing through the injury. Can you shoot? He think of it in this terms. What we saw, Nelly, came back from a hand injury to a shooting hand, and he was awful for 6 weeks. So, how much has he been able to shoot? I mean, his legs, his conditioning, he can run. But it's like, hey, what's that hand going to be like? And when it gets tired, what's it going to be like? Because it's so we know. And they're going to practice him, and they'll find out. But if he's not able to, he's available and cleared to practice. That's what we know right now. And they've got to figure some things out in the next 3 or 4 days. What can he do? And then the flip side, what can't he do? And then they'll have to. That's where the head coach has to make some really good judgment decisions. Let's be honest. He's been through everything. He's not a spring chicken. I'm talking about the head coach. Mm-hmm. He'll figure it out. Can he help us, or is he going to hurt us? And then he can make decisions.
Looking over the bracket where the 14 SEC teams fell, I'm not certain yet, because just the way this one's printed, where Texas would fall into which one seed, but doesn't look like there's a lot of opportunity. There's a chance for Vandy and Alabama to play in the second round. There's not a ton of opportunities for teams. Let's see, also Florida could play Oklahoma.
That's the one I looked at, yeah.
But the matchups didn't come out quite the way I thought, guys, so I guess that, it doesn't guarantee anything until you get through the first round, but, where this conference is going to knock each other out a lot in the second round. That there's only going to be 2 chances for that to potentially happen. Who does Texas play if they win their play-in game?
They get Illinois.
Yeah, one of the things to think about, Tommy, is
Illinois.
The last time anything like this happened, it was the Big East, I think, with 11.
Yep.
And it was 2 games in, they were down to 2 or 3. So we'll see how it plays out. I really think that the SEC is prepared for just about anything, playing each other. They ought to be tournament tough. But things change in the tournament. And, you have to go in there thinking you're the underdog, even if, you've been tournament tested. Kansas will not be easy. And then you got St. John's probably after that, and they're playing great. So, yeah.
He opened as a 5.5-point underdog. You're now 4.5, and Cal kind of alluded to what you're talking about there yesterday.
I've always been the underdog until the last 15 years. Now, we've taken those teams and gotten high seeds, but even as a high seed, they'd say they'll get upset. They won't win. I was raised as the underdog,
picked against
everybody. It was kind of nice this year to get back to my roots. We're underdogs. We were playing games where we're 14-point dogs, and we had to go win, and we did.
Cal also alluded to the Bill Self and him matchups where Kansas beat Memphis in the 2008 National Championship. Kentucky beat Kansas in the 2012 National Championship. So there is a history of these guys not just playing in the regular season like they've done in years past, and also in the exhibition game earlier this season. These guys have seen each other in the postseason as well, Clay.
That is exactly right. And you got the TV's loving it. You got two marquee coaches, a lot of history, a lot of great victories, a lot of great runs in the NCAA tournament. So, yeah.
I was looking at the Bet Saracen app. What was it, a 4.5-point line? It opened. I hadn't looked this morning.
Open at 5.5.
Open 5.5.
It's
now at 4.5. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I thought it opened at 4.5, but
I think that one's fair. That's a fair judgment. Yeah.
But if you don't have the Bet Saracen app, download that now. Arkansas is plus 170 on the money line against the Kansas Jayhawks. So Jayhawks favored by 4.5. You can get that at betsaracen.com.
And just the timing. I know that Arkansas has played the last two games at 12 o'clock in the SEC tournament, but you got prime slot, CBS. You're going up against a blue blood. I'm gonna guess this is one of the highest watched games. As long as it's not a blowout, it's gonna be one of the highest watched games on Thursday.
That's why it wasn't at noon. You know, when TV was finally handed the bracket, and they were able to figure out what times they wanted to put them in. Kansas. And I say it's a blue blood in Kansas, but there's also a blue blood in Calipari.
That's a good point. Yep.
Yes, it's Arkansas, but Calipari is the one that they're going to slide in there. All right, we talk about baseball. They've got a series coming up this weekend as well. They'll take on South Carolina. If you're looking for tickets, go to the official resale marketplace of the Razorbacks. That's SeatGeek.com. Go to hitthatline.com. Ty, we've got our bracket contest up. People can get entered right now. To put your basketball acumen up against the experts at ESPN Arkansas.
Yes, absolutely. It's a fun contest. We love to do it each and every year. So if you want to again take advantage, just go to hitthatline.com/bracket and you can see who's the best. It's brought to you by Heartland Honda, Chris Dooley Shelter Insurance, 810 Billiards and Bowling, and Moix RV. When we return here on the Morning Rush, we've got our Hog Update. Hear more from John Calipari as Arkansas gets a 10 seed against 7-seeded Kansas in the tournament.
You're listening to the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday, presented by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
On a cattle ranch, calves aren't only raised by their mother, they're raised by a community of farmers, ranchers, and veterinarians committed to giving them the healthiest, most comfortable life possible. Because for cattle farmers, ranchers, and the moms of those baby calves, animal welfare is the top priority. Together, we bring more. Beef. It's what's for dinner. Funded by beef farmers and ranchers. This message courtesy of the Arkansas Beef Council and Beef. It's what's for dinner.com.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Arkansas!
Ready to explore beyond the beaten path? Discover the Range Rover lineup at Land Rover of Little Rock. Experience handcrafted luxury with the capability to take on any adventure. The elegant Range Rover offers unmatched performance and first-class luxury. The Range Rover is built for every journey. Visit Land Rover of Little Rock today and explore our incredible Range Rover selection. Plus, take advantage of our promotions and recently revamped service department. Visit us at 25 Colonel Glenn Plaza Drive or log on at LandRoverLittleRock.com.
Here's some exciting news for golf enthusiasts. The Golf Nut is thrilled to announce new arrivals for 2025, including Callaway Elite Woods and Irons, the new generation Pro V1 and Pro V1X golf balls, as well as a full range of lab putters, including the latest OZ model. Schedule a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators to elevate your game. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue and experience golfing greatness for over 30 years.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio.
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at WheelerPowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Taco Bell's new Caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Hey, Hog fans, this is Robert.
This is Elizabeth.
And this is Matt, and we're with the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville.
Hey, do y'all know what time it is?
It's about 2:30.
Summertime.
It's that and a whole lot more.
And no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has what you need.
We have the best selection for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation, even Razorback swim trunks.
Graduations, anniversaries, birthdays, we have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha.
Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
And you can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Baum Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at those WWNs.
Dad, let me do that before you hurt yourself. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 479-STADIUM.
All from the only family, alumni-owned and operated Razorback store.
South of the North Pole.
Dad, please.
Folks, it does not get more Razorback than us.
Go Hawks.
I'm ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Winter has arrived, bringing frosty mornings, holiday travels, and unpredictable roads. That's why it's the perfect time to visit Southern Tire Mart. From top quality tires to expert service at competitive prices, we've got you covered. Visit our Fort Smith location at 9700 Highway 271 and let us prepare your vehicle for everything winter has in store. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Yes, sir. Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
And their opponent, John Calipari in Arkansas, dancing in his first season in Fayetteville in a 7-10.
They were taking teams that we had beaten. You start looking around like everybody was so confident we were in. I'm like, hey, but the whole point was get in. It's first year, getting things established, struggling early. And my teams have struggled early in the past, but not like that. To be able to say, all right, we're in the tournament. Hard road. It may be the hardest, but so what? We're in.
You heard Adam Zucker there, and then you heard Cal talking about the team's NCAA tournament and then making it kind of a little nerve-wracking at first. But Greg Gumbel, they did a little tribute for the late Greg Gumbel at the initial. And, like, I'm sitting there all excited and everything else. And then kind of got a little emotional there for a sec with Jay Wright and Zucker and Seth Davis and Clark Kellogg, because I know that's a colleague of theirs that has been doing it for so long. Like, when I think about the selection show, I think about Greg Gumbel and how excited I am to see his face. And not that I don't like Zucker, it's just a little different feel on Sunday night.
That's right. It just it's been a few months since his passing. It caught a lot of us off guard, and it's going to be different when the games begin on Thursday in Ernst. That that we don't hear his voice and see his image. So those are massive shoes to fill.
Boogie Flan is back for the Arkansas Razorbacks, anticipated to play in the NCAA tournament. Due Thero's still doubtful for Arkansas, according to John Calipari. It sounds like that there's a chance that he comes back potentially for if they make it to a second weekend. Don't know that 100%. It just seems like based on you read between like the lines on what Cal has said about a guy coming back. I always thought Boogie had a better chance just because of the time elapsed between injury to now. But at least you got one of the two guys back for the NCAA tournament.
And we never had a ton of information, Clay. Makes me believe that Adu Thieros, and this is just me, guessing on it, but it makes you think that the sprain or the injury that he had was more severe. But a lot of times these things are 3 to 6 weeks, even without something that's requiring surgery.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is take a chance. These guys, have a bright future. They're NBA players, and I don't know whether there's an MCL tear or whatever. They're trying to see if it heals, but you have two things. You're capable of playing one off of the other. In other words, heavily use the other one. Well, then that's a problem too. And it seems like that's his jumping knee. When he takes off, that's the one. So you want it to be fully strong, because you lose his strength. That you don't have the right guy out there. But I know he wants to play. He's a team leader, and you saw him on the bench that he was excited to be there and excited for how his teammates are playing, and it's kind of helped coach him a little bit. And let's just face it, maybe he's not ready this week, but they win 2 games, he's ready next week. So it's like what you have to look at is just to make sure you don't take any chances.
And let's see how Boogie Flan, kind of reintroduces himself into the mix. If nothing else, and we heard Cal earlier, 10, 15 minutes, maybe more. We'll just have to see how it goes. But here's one thing we do know for sure, Clay. It's 5 more fouls that you have available. And this is a team with a short bench. Then you get into foul trouble, particularly with your guards. There's somebody that gives you 5 more fouls in the mix.
And that's exactly the same case with Tero. It just is.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to answer this phone.
All right. Arkansas baseball also got a series victory this weekend against Ole Miss. Here's DVH after Game 3.
Yeah, that was a wild one. Now I've been a part of a lot of ball games, but that was probably a top 10.
That's 9-8, and then come back to win 12-9 in the ninth. Just an epic finish for this Arkansas baseball team that looked down and out, and yet they just kept on pursuing a victory and ended up getting a series win on the road against a top 25 opponent in Ole Miss.
Is that a quad 1 win in baseball?
I think so.
Okay,
I think
just
so.
checking.
Just check. Anytime you get an SEC.
I didn't know if that was a quad 1 win or what.
You got the Gamecocks of South Carolina this weekend, and you've got Oral Roberts tomorrow night, and also on Wednesday will be when you'll play the Golden Eagles. All right, that is your Hog Update this morning. It's brought to you by Fritz, as always, at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
You make that joke. It is nice, Tommy, to not have to worry about quad 1s or net rankings or anything like that now. It's just go play. And again, Kansas has not had the best of seasons under Bill
Kansas
Self.
a quad 2 opportunity.
Yeah,
what do we got here?
Because it's a neutral site. It is a quad 1. But,
it is a quad. Good.
I just not only did you play these guys. One of the craziest games 2 years ago in Des Moines.
Yes, no hesitation. Arkansas has taken the lead.
That's the national champion, and you end up beating them where there was far more Kansas fans in Des Moines, Iowa than there were Arkansas Razorbacks. But you get another crack at one of the blue bloods of college basketball.
All right, so if you're headed to Providence, you need to take the Hit That Line Now app with you so you can stay up to date. It's powered by Taco Bell. Whether you're craving something cheesy, saucy, or crunchy, Taco Bell has you covered. Get the Hit That Line Now app powered by Taco Bell in the Apple app or Google Play Store. It's Hot Take Monday. What are your hot takes from the weekend? It's brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 on 549 in Springdale. They're teaming up with Moix RV for the NWA NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party. Almost put the outdoor party ahead of the RV show, but hey, they're both big deals. You want to see all the top brands, on-site financing's available, bounce houses for the kids, vendors there for some great food and a lot more. It's going to be April 12th and 13th in Rogers. The NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party brought to you by Wheels RV.
All right, when we return, we got our Morning Rush Daily Question here on a Hot Take Monday.
It's Hot Take Monday on the Morning Rush. Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
This is the Morning Rush.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 Classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the Chicken Chalupa Supreme, and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
We're at the Stadium Shop on Razorback in Fayetteville. It's about 2:30.
Summertime,
It's that.
and no matter what's happening, the Stadium Shop has
We have the best selections for showing off your Razorback spirit while on vacation. Even Razorback swim trunks.
graduations, anniversaries, birthdays. We have what you need for your event.
And we have what you need for that trip to Omaha. Even a new line of hard shell luggage.
Also, Omaha tees, flags, bases, loaded hats, and the boppers.
You can get them here at the Stadium Shop located at 989 South Razorback Road next to Mall Walker Stadium. Or you can check us online at www.razorback.com. He's talking about our website, shoponrazorback.com.
And if you can't reach us there, call us at 379 Stadium.
All from the only family alumni owned and operated Razorback store. So, Dad,
Folks, it does not take
Tyler Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials. Wednesday, ladies' night. I know you love Wednesdays.
I love my Wednesdays. All the ladies come out. We have $5.99 small cheesy bread. We have candy droppers on special. We've got blow bombs on special, and it's all about ladies on the Wednesday here.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share the joy of cycling.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Social Morning Rush Daily Question. All right, you men. I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to answer to the best of your ability.
Going to be a quick answer to an incredibly terrible, long question.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've ever heard. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Check out Nathan Christian's Place in Lowell online at PatSocial.com.
All right, Morning Rush Daily Question. We have spoken on the idea and the fact, shouldn't say an idea, it's the fact that Boogie Fland is returning. What role he'll play in the lineup is yet to be determined. But here's the Morning Rush Daily Question. If Boogie Fland's in and he's playing 25, 30 minutes at some point, it doesn't sound like it's going to be that much. Should he be running the point? Should there even be consideration of him running the offense and being the point guard after being away for what's it been, 15 games?
I mean, I think he's just going to play in a backup role to DJ like Billy has, and they'll just move Billy off the ball.
I agree. I mean, I don't know how you take DJ Wagner off the point after everything that's unfolded and make any change there. But can he play the two? Can he go? Could you have him and DJ out there at the same time? I'm interested in how they reinsert him into the rotation in the lineup after missing so many games. We were discussing this amongst just our group yesterday. There's just no way you can really feel comfortable of him coming back at the point, but you want to see him on the floor. There's too much talent to not have him out there. But so you're saying it's him or Wagner in at the same time in your estimate?
No, what I'm saying is, like, I think he will run the point and DJ will start, and then Boogie will come off the bench and relieve him if he goes out, or he'll play some.
Okay. You're saying he's going to relieve DJ.
Correct. It's just
that's what I guess. Maybe I misspoke. DJ and Boogie won't be out there at the same time, is what you're saying.
And they'll probably mix and match like they did when he was playing and fully healthy this season. I don't think we can expect 22 from Boogie Fland points wise like he did against Kansas the first time. If you remember that game, he cooked Juwan Wagner and some of the other guys, but there were, again, missing players. They didn't have Dickinson or Griffin, and I think it's Shaquille Moore's the other kid. But I would expect that he doesn't start, like Cal alluded to, maybe, I can't remember if he said the term 10 or 15 or 15 to 20, whatever it was. But
then he also said maybe more,
Yeah.
We'll see what's needed.
And there's been some guys that have had to play more, but I would expect them to keep the exact same. No, I say that. I actually expect Jonas Adu to be inserted in the starting lineup. I think that Big Z gets taken out, and then I think you'll see a combination of Billy Richmond, Boogie Fland, and Big Z coming off the bench.
Considering the stakes, it's win or go home, right? I mean, obviously. How big a risk is it to even put him in for 15 or 20 minutes or 10 or 15 or whatever it is? How big a risk is that considering the season's on the line?
I think in that situation, it's like we give kids such a hard time for looking out for themselves and looking for their own individual self-interest. This kid is not doing that. So we can't on one side of our mouth say, hey, this so-and-so is not doesn't have a team mindset, and then also be like, I don't know if he'll mess up the team. If the kid can come back and play, I think you got to play him. But there is some truth to that. They've had success post-Boogie. And I mean, and you can say, well, it's 100% because he's not playing or what. You'd be hard pressed if you're John Calipari and this staff to sit a kid who's tried his butt off to get back and finally has gone back from whether it's training or therapy, whatever he else had to go do to get back. But there is some risk. There's no question about it.
Yeah, 'cause I just wonder how much real practice you can have, full speed practice. But number one, you don't have enough players to have 5-on-5, and so how much can you really judge and evaluate how this is going to flow, and really from a teammate standpoint, getting that timing and almost like I'm ready to read your next pass, I'm ready to understand your next move. Can you get enough of that in a short? And how much has he been practicing? Those are the things we don't know behind the scenes.
Ty, you mentioned it right there. You said that he's kind of get back into it and everything. And Tommy, trying to get back into practice. He's also you said that they've kind of gotten better since Boogie a little bit. Why is that? It's because Boogie was a super high volume shooter. So that's the thing that I'd be worried about. Is that once he does come back, is he going to start taking a lot of shots to try and get back into rhythm really quickly? Because that was sort of what killed our offense at times last year, or when he was playing, was that he is a very high volume shooter. So Ty, like you mentioned, he has to come into that DJ Wagner role and be a facilitator and a playmaker first before a scorer.
Here's what Cal said about him practicing.
Today, he practiced the whole practice. I was doing individual work, did full workouts that way. Practice today, we'll practice tomorrow, we'll practice Tuesday, practice Wednesday, play on Thursday. If you ask me, will he play more than 15 minutes? I don't know, maybe less. But I know he's talented for our team. Come in and defend and rebound, make easy plays, fly up and down the court, make the plays, and be who you are. And that will help us.
It is a question. What kind of impact does Boogie Fland have on this game Thursday? Does he play point guard? Does he play shooting guard? What role do you see him playing? If you want to jump in here, do so on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline, 877-377-6963. That is your Cart Pass Social Morning Rush Daily question. I know that Nate and Christian are really excited about March Madness coming up. First for Arkansas game. If you're looking for a great place to watch, hang out, and play a little golf while you're at it, you can do so at Cart Path Social. Masters Invitational actually gets going today. That is where you get to play 4 straight weeks at Augusta National here at Cart Path Social, 122 Grant Place in Lowell. You get a chance to play one of the premier courses in all of the United States. And at the end of it,
premier course.
Yeah. And at the end of it, they're going to have their very own Masters champion. So check it out online. It's
You get a green jacket?
I don't remember what their I don't remember what their prize is for that.
Yeah.
I know it's something significant, but they're really excited about it. Go to cartpasssocial.com, 122 Grant Place in Lowell. You can give them a call at 479-487-3622, or again, check them out online at cartpasssocial.com. Melvin and Sheridan has called in here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Melvin, you've got some thoughts on Boogie Fland here this morning.
Yes, sir. I just hope they sprinkle him in like you do a little salt and pepper on your when you're cooking. Just sprinkle just a little bit of Boogie on the team, and we'll be just fine. We don't want to put too much because I think it'll mess up the chemistry, to be truthful, and maybe send some guys back into the shell. All these guys that played has come out. Okay,
Well,
now I got one more thing to say. Go ahead.
I was just saying, one thing we haven't seen, Melvin, we've seen this team adjust and get better as they've lost players. What we haven't seen is as players have come back, how do they adjust? That's an unknown right now.
Thank you. That's right. Hey, and I got a question, and this is ugly, but I'll ask it anyway. Is the Big Z for Big Zero? Because that's what we've got out of that young man the last 2 ball games is really nothing. Has he got an attitude issue?
Him and Cal.
Y'all see him get mad?
Yeah, so I noticed that being where I was, the vantage point I had in Nashville. So that happens. Like, players and coaches yell at each other. It happens from time to time. I remember Mason Jones and Eric Musselman occasionally got into it. I've seen other players get into it as well. But there have been a few flare-ups between those two. Now, coach always wins. That's how it is. That's the dynamic between player and coach. But that's not like new or anything to college basketball or this Arkansas basketball team. I think it is a little concerning that he is, I don't know, falling off a cliff. He just hasn't. Like, Trevin and Jonas have played great lately. I know people were frustrated that Trevin missed those free throws, but he was like 6 of 8 and 2 of 4. Like, he had a really good game, 11 boards. But Big Z has fallen off. And Melvin, I'm going to be honest, like I just alluded to, I think that you'll see Jonas Adu in the starting lineup this Thursday. I think they're going to insert him there. So I don't know what the deal is. Hopefully he gets back for an NCAA tournament run. All right, Phillip's in Bentonville this morning. Phillip, go ahead.
All right. Good morning, guys. Hey, Kelly, explain to me, have you ever heard as much griping on the women from basketball from 2 coaches that got the number 1 seed but they're going onto the media and griping about not getting the overall number one seed. What is the problem? What is their gripe? Because I haven't heard what their gripe about from South Carolina and University of Southern California coaches.
I haven't seen Dawn Staley, and I'm going to be honest, I don't know who the USC coach is. When Arkansas,
Will the real USC please stand up? You know,
I have paid little to no attention to the women's basketball tournament with Arkansas not being involved.
I'm going to guess it's a pride and respect thing. Does that sound?
Probably.
I mean, I'm with you as a guess.
The gripe has been the one that I focused on, Philip, is how North Carolina got in the NCAA tournament over for West Virginia, Indiana, and some other what I think are more deserving schools. But
you don't know how that happened?
Well, Bubba Cumming. By the way, for those that don't know, the NCAA selection committee chair is also the North Carolina's athletics director. But he wasn't in the room when they had those conversations.
All the policies and procedures were followed, and Keith can address exactly how North Carolina was discussed because I was not in the room for any of that.
I mean, what a load of bull. I just like
I did have my ear pressed to the door, but I wasn't in the room.
To say that, with
and the door was cracked. But
to say that with a straight face on national television is laughable. Tar Heels, I'll give them credit. They battled Duke. They were getting clobbered in Charlotte, and they came all the way back. And I think there was a free throw line violation at the end of that game that ultimately cost them a chance to beat their arch rival, who drilled them twice earlier this year. But yeah, that was a joke. That was the gripe that I think. If you're watching the NCAA tournament, that's the gripe that people followed and pay attention to.
It's not a good look, you know.
No.
Now listen, if you're a team that's on the bubble and you're one of the last in, you know, it's great to be in the tournament. Don't take it for granted because we weren't there last year and it feels a lot better today than it did a year ago. But this isn't like you cut out a team that was, you know, had a real shot at a Final Four here. But I get it. No one wants to be left out, and it is a bad look when the team that gets in is the chairman's school. That is a bad look.
Can you imagine? Now, North Carolina, you have not had a lot of success against the Tar Heels over the years. You got obliterated by Tyler Hansbrough and that team. You lost to Marcus Page and those guys, I guess, in 2017. 2015, you lost to another North Carolina team. It has not gone well against you against Tar Heels. Can you imagine if Arkansas was the team that was supposedly left out? Luckily, you're not. You're playing Thursday night, 6:10 on CBS against the Kansas Jayhawks, and then a potential opportunity. The quadrant, if you want to call it, or sector, features a former Arkansas assistant coach in Chris Crutchfield, who's done a really good job at Omaha. You've got a longtime rival of Arkansas, Rick Pitino, who coached at Kentucky for a number of years. Former Kentucky coach that's now your head coach, and then another Hall of Famer. Yeah. So it's a very entertaining portion of the
loaded pod there. Absolutely. Hey, we're brought to you by the Fence Man. 782-3936 is the number. Sean will be back with us on Friday. We had our picks from the weekend. We'll go over those. Hey, if the high winds and it wasn't really storms, but we had a lot of winds over the weekend. It's knocked down maybe a section or a panel of your fence. You need some repairs, or maybe that fence is just tired and worn out. The Fence Man can replace it or repair it for you. 782-3936 is the number. 479-782-3936. The Fence Man, he ain't afraid of no work. Hey, don't forget this Friday, we're back with Hot Wing Madness. It's been a few years, but it's back at TGI Fridays. 50-cent wings. We're going to be live with halftime there. You can come by and see Matt and Phil and the gang load up on 50-cent wings, $3 pints of beer, $15 beer buckets. It's TGI Fridays in Fort Smith this Friday and Saturday for halftime. Hot Wing Madness, 50-cent wings at Fridays.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by two of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
APAC Arcola,
and Standard Materials Group has immediate openings in the Northwest Arkansas area. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, electrician, diesel mechanic, have paving or concrete labor experience, or experience in a quarry, apply today at jobs.crh.com. APAC offers top pay, a sign-on bonus, benefits including insurance, retirement, and profit sharing. Apply online today at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola and Standard Materials Group is an equal opportunity employer.
For decades, the Rebel Crawfish has been a tackle box staple. But now, get ready for the next generation. Introducing the all-new Rebel Matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors that eliminate glare and enhance realism, mimicking a natural crawfish like never before. The same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. Upgrade to the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish today at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Dick's Sporting Goods, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel. Catch fish anywhere.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Hi, folks. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. This is the best time of year to save on a great selection of road-ready certified used cars with warranty. Plus, act now and take advantage of $1,000 cash your way on select inventory for even more savings. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook for fun-free contests and money-saving specials. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources in the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
Hey, Ty Richardson at my favorite place, Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, 508 Garrison Avenue. And Cricket, we always talk about specials. Wednesday, ladies' night. I know you love Wednesdays here.
I love my Wednesdays. All the ladies come out. We have $5.99 small cheesy bread. We have pink panty droppers on special. We've got blow bombs on special. And it's all about ladies on a Wednesday here at Papa.
Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world. Cricket, what do you think about Papa's Pub and Pizzeria?
I think it's the best darn pizza in Fort Smith and perhaps the world.
Budweiser, the American lager. A time-honored recipe, true to our original process, brewed using the choicest hops, rice, and best barley malt, delivering great quality beer since 1876. Budweiser. This Bud's for you. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2024 Anheuser-Busch Budweiser Lager Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
I want to ride my... Looking for a new ride or need a tune-up? Champion Cycling in Fort Smith has you covered. From top-of-the-line bikes like Specialized and Surly to expert repairs, apparel, and accessories, we've got everything you need to hit the trails. Stop by 5500 Mazard Road during business hours or shop anytime online at championcycling.com. Champion Cycling, helping you share in the joy of cycling.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Cut Above Lawn and Landscaping. Does your yard need to be serviced in the fall and winter months? Of course. A Cut Above is with you every step of the way. Whether it's commercial or residential, a Cut Above can handle all your needs. Tree service, stump grinding, brush hog, full landscaping. Plus, a Cut Above can take care of all your leaf removal.
Call or text today at 479-719-5605.
That's a Cut Above, 719-5605.
Taco Bell's new caliente sauce made with red jalapenos is the spicy side of Cantina chicken. But does that mean everything has a spicy side? Like your cactus plant. It's like your other plants, but spicy. Or your coworker who says they hate everyone who works here, but you work here. Or when you say, I don't mean to be rude, but you do mean to be rude. But now you can feed your spicy side with Caliente Cantina chicken from Taco Bell. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Contact store for availability.
Up to $10,000 off on select GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off. Or lease the all-new 2025 GMC Hummer EV. With hands-free driving assistance, go 0 to 60 in under 3 seconds for as low as $800 a month. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, weather will be quiet, not quite as cool. Our high this afternoon in the low to mid 70s, clear to partly cloudy skies tonight. Overnight lows will drop down in the mid to upper 50s, and then limited sunshine, a high in the upper 60s to low 70s on Tuesday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Shamrock Liquor Warehouse, 5609 Midland Boulevard, your leader in fine wines, beers, and spirits. You're listening to The Morning Rush on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Don't touch my beef jerky now.
Something that we just pride ourselves at going to the tournament.
Johnson gives Arkansas the lead.
John Calipari in Arkansas, dancing in his first season in Fayetteville.
To be able to say, all right, we're in the tournament. Hard road. It may be the hardest, but so what? We're in.
No good at the horn. Arkansas win. Arkansas wins at the horn.
This is the Morning Rush.
I know we have a lot of people that love to rag on Zach for being a Notre Dame fan, but when Shipping Up to Boston comes on in that stadium, it's pretty cool. Hey, it's St. Patrick's Day. It's also a Hot Take Monday here, brought to you by Wheels RV. Got to be honest, I'm not wearing anything green.
No.
I wore green stuff on Friday and Saturday due to a few soirees and events I was at, but
Soirees.
I didn't think
You didn't go to a soiree.
I didn't think I needed it today, even though
Why?
today is actually
Today is St. Patrick's
It's
Day.
actually St. Patrick's Day.
You probably haven't changed underwear, so there's probably some green spots.
Yeah, there probably is somewhere. You guys are both wearing green. Clay, I can't see you. Are you wearing green this morning?
I've got my green Orvis hoodie on.
Okay. So I'm the only one that's not abiding by the holiday.
What's that mean?
GN said officially it's olive.
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 That's a shade of green. That's
No, it is. I just say it's green, but you know how women are.
Now,
it's olive.
This shirt you're looking at, what color is it?
It's green.
It is
isn't it?
green.
Okay.
But I look up on the screen for our YouTube, and what does it look like?
Blue.
It looks blue.
That's very weird.
Yeah, I was noticing that. It's also today.
Ty, you've never been to a soiree.
I've been to a few soirees.
No, you
I
haven't.
haven't. I haven't been invited to a soiree at your house.
How do you
ever.
spell soiree?
Don't even try on that. That's
You know how many times, like in the future, you'll get invited.
to your house.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess zero, zilch, nada, no shot. Or are you gonna say once?
We'll do it in soccer terms. Nil.
Nil. Okay. All right. I'm glad we cleared that up here. Arkansas's in the NCAA tournament. You're going to play the Kansas Jayhawks this Thursday night, 6:10 on CBS. You got a primetime spot for a primetime matchup featuring John Calipari, Bill Self, two Hall of Famers, two guys that went at each other earlier in the exhibition game back in 2024. Boogie Flam was awesome that game. By the way, it sounds like he's back. According to the release, barring any setbacks, he is anticipated to play in the NCAA or be available to play in the NCAA tournament. Now, if you remember that game, Boogie had 22. I think he was 8 of 15. Just cooked an All-American defensive guy, Jawan Harris. Now, they didn't have their full amount of guys. Guys, does that play any role in this game? That was what, back in October? Does that have any role in this game come Thursday night?
Yeah, I think there's some familiarity. That'll when they put the scanner report up, they're like, yeah, I know all those guys, and they've got tape, yeah, so they're going to look at that. But there's it's not the same team, and I mean Jonas Aju's been a beast of late.
Yep.
And when you say Hunter Dickinson, that's a mouthful, and there's some history there because it wasn't Cal. But he was in the portal and considered Arkansas, and I think, Kansas outbid for him. I mean, it'd be more of a deal if, Eric Musselman. By the way, Eric Musselman, not in the tournament, had a losing season, second straight losing season. I was pulling for him. I mean, this is his time of year. I thought they won an overtime game. I guess it was a double overtime game to stay alive, and then Purdue got him. But, yeah, I think there definitely is familiarity, but here's the main thing that I would say. Those two coaches have played against each other. they know what their tendencies are, when they're going to change, what out-of-bounds plays they run out of timeouts. All of those things will be worked on this week. There's time.
Here's Cal, what he said about the rematch.
I haven't watched that much, but I've coached against Bill a bunch, and we know each other pretty well. The big kid didn't play. He did not play here, so they're a different team with him. We're going to have a heck of a game. We're going to have to play well.
And it should be a heck of a game.
Well,
I don't think that's a hot take either.
Obviously, Arkansas is a different team, but I mean, everybody evolves to judge what's going to happen this Thursday on something that happened months and months ago. I mean, we don't really stop and think about the length in calendar day in days, weeks, and months. Is there a longer season than college basketball? I mean, that game happened in late October, that exhibition game? You play all of November, all of December, all of January, all of February, all of March. I mean, I don't know of another season that the actual season consumes up 5 months, Clay. I mean, it's a long time, and that game was so much long ago.
When you're talking about the major sports, correct. When you talk about, golf, they play spring and summer. If you talk about soccer, they're now playing a spring season. If you talk about track, the distance guys, they have the cross-country season, and then it goes all the way to June. So, but as far as football, basketball, baseball, this is a long season.
Hot Take Mondays brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. They're teaming up with Moix RV for the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party April 12th and 13th. It's going to be in Rogers. All the biggest brands from both dealers will be there, a variety of vendors and bounce houses for the kids, and so much more. So mark your calendars. We're less than a month away from the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party on April the 12th and 13th with Wheels RV and Rogers.
Hey, it's NCAA tournament time. If you don't think you can win it, then you shouldn't be in it. Let's go to work.
Someone sent that to me over the weekend. That's, of course, Nolan Richardson following the 94 national championship win, getting ready for that 1995 season. This is one of the best weeks of the year. Not just Thursday and Friday, but the whole NCAA tournament. You just brought it up. It's nice to be a part of it. Last year, I watched the selection show every year, regardless if Arkansas is involved or not. It's just kind of a rite of passage and tradition that you fall into. But now you have something like on the line. And I know Cal just talked about, again, just we're in.
We're in. Anybody looking at this saying, we may not get in.
But what I've gathered on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline this morning is I think fans like the setup. I mean, Kansas has been up and down all season, more down than up. You maybe get the worst 2 seed in your side. Like, I'm looking at this as glass half full as it gets, but I think a lot of Arkansas fans are confident in their team, especially getting that, again, bolster of Boogie Flan coming back for the tournament.
Interesting take in that St. John's is a team that doesn't shoot a lot of threes. They can shoot threes, but they're a team that plays in the mid-range. Well, that's kind of what Cal does. So that would be an interesting matchup. But, yeah, and as far as Arkansas in the first round, let's go find Devo and bring him back for one more game. Need that 25-point explosion. Yeah, because, Arkansas wouldn't have won that game without Devo. They were sinking. NCAA tournament is so much fun. Are you guys filling out brackets? Am I supposed to do a company bracket, Tommy?
Yes.
Okay, send the check and I'll do it. You know how that works. I am a play for pay type guy. I am in a family bracket. The name of the bracket is the Uncle Donkers towing machine.
Well, you can Uncle Donkers.
Don't you remember the commercial that y'all have in Harrison of the big green towing machine?
Oh,
Uncle
yeah. Well, the cool thing is you can use our bracket contest at hitthatline.com, and you can do your family group or your work group, or you can do your own public and private groups and still be eligible for our prizes. But we'll determine the amount of pay you get for your bracket based on performance. So we'll send the check, but we're going to wait and see how the bracket goes.
Okay, I got it. That was just a joke. I wouldn't do that to you.
I was being serious.
You ask.
We'll see if you win any prizes.
Yeah, they will make a determination of that. Tommy, you asked a question about Boogie Fland earlier. Dennis texted in here on our Lewis Automotive Group hotline saying, put Boogie in as the shooting guard and tell him to go score, no point guard duty. I think that is a big question for this Thursday night, and hopefully, assuming they win, beyond that, it's like, what role does he play? Cal talked about it a little bit. And just him coming back. But guys, Clay, what do you envision? I think Tommy and I were kicking around. What role do you envision Boogie Fland playing this Thursday against the Jayhawks?
So you guys are y'all are typical of most people that do media. I mean, it is you're ready to be chastised, right? Aren't you, Ty? You know it's coming.
You're wind up. Yep, wind up. Go ahead.
Just
throw the
go ahead,
fastball in my
brace and duck. But all you guys are thinking about, well, what's he going to do offensively? He's going to help them on defense. He's a good defensive player. He can give them defensive minutes, and how he is able to move his feet are probably, without question, still okay. Is he going to be a scoring machine? Well, he probably will make a layup. He'll probably, he probably can dunk. But is his hand strong enough to shoot threes? Is he going to be strong enough to stay on the dribble for 30 seconds? I don't think so. I think that what you're going to get out of him is an extra defender, and Kansas is going to make you play defense. They're going to have long possessions. He's going to have to fight through some Hunter Dickinson screens.
Yeah.
They're going to have to do some things with physicality, and that's where he can help this team.
And that's what I said earlier. And he's 5 more fouls, and this is a team that needs 5 more fouls
or 3 stops.
Yeah.
Help him get a stop in crunch time, if he's able to go. But I think it just gives you a little bit kind of sigh of relief if you're the head coach, is that DJ and Nelly. I mean, Billy Richmond and Carter Knox, they're going to get fouls. They're freshmen. They're going to do that. They're kind of interchangeable, but you need Wagner and you need Nelly out there, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And Cal also, you were talking about Jonas Adu really stepping up as of late. Here's what Cal said about Arkansas center that's had a couple good games lately.
He's getting healthy. I told him, quit looking at your foot. You get into a habit running, you look down. Stop it. And I want to see you dunk a ball. I can't remember the game where he didn't dunk. And I said, are you crazy? He dunked 4 in a game. I'm like, I didn't see you dunk all year. So part of it, I think, was him being confident that he was healed.
I wouldn't be surprised, Clay, if we saw Jonas inserted into the starting lineup, because Cal talked about in the Ole Miss game, and I tend to think like that he maybe shouldn't have started Big Z. I tend to think that Jonas might see the starting lineup this Thursday night.
Yeah, and I wonder how Big Z matches up against Hunter, and what is that? And here's another thing, and we all get excited about, well, who are our starters? Well, Nolan taught me who are the finishers. So if you can get 7 or 8 minutes in the first half out of Z, where Jonah and your team is settled down and playing okay, then it kind of keeps you. There's one thing Nolan told me that I've never forgotten. A guy that's sitting on the bench never gets a foul called on him. Tommy, have you ever called one on a guy on the bench? I bet you had.
Technical foul.
Well, but I mean, yeah. Now that counts as a personal, but it is that's a reach.
Yeah.
And so
I hear what you're saying.
So what if you're going to get, if there's 28, 30, 32 minutes that you'd have out of Jonas, you want to make sure that the last 10 are among that, because he didn't finish the game against Ole Miss, and I thought that was whether you thought that was a foul or not, that was a big play in the game.
Yeah, that
his 5th.
Yeah, I mean, and how I'm of the belief that the physicality we have seen won't carry over from SEC games into this tournament.
Be called differently.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a vast shift. I don't think you're going to see some radical change, but and I think you're still going to see collisions at the hoop when the offense initiates the contact, go uncalled, because that's a point of emphasis, is to not penalize legal defenders when the offense initiates the contact. But I think some of the hand stuff and some of the things that have been let go out top, you might see some more of that whistled in this tournament that Arkansas hasn't been accustomed to. And I hadn't watched enough of the Big 12 to know, was that the way they played? I don't think anyone played more physical all year than the SEC.
I watched some games, and especially some really late games after everybody's gone to bed, and I might watch Texas Tech in Arizona or Houston in Arizona, and, where they're starting at 10 o'clock in a different time zone. But what the foul that I think will be called, I saw in the Tennessee Auburn game, where Ziegler's dribbling out high, and the Auburn guard came and just hip checked him and knocked him into the backcourt, and they call it backcourt. Rick Barnes is like, that's an egregious foul. They're going to call that where a guy's knocked off the ball, and you think, well, he's in a guarding position, blah blah blah, but they're not going to let that play go in the NCAA tournament. Where in SEC play, it's like, okay, you're not bleeding, let's not call that.
By the way, Florida Gators ended up taking the SEC tournament. Tommy, I know you picked that last week. Gators playing as good as any team in the country right now, number one seed for a reason.
Yeah,
they're the deepest team and healthy now.
Can they? How many? Obviously, they won 3 in Nashville. I don't know how many they won at the at the end of SEC regular season play, but it would be 9 in a row just starting in Nashville to win the Nashville title. And Auburn, I don't say they're on the skids. I think that'd be an exaggeration, but they have lost 3 of 4. They got, as Bruce Pearl said yesterday, guys, they got to get their mojo back a little bit.
They had the best 75% of the first end of the schedule, and then they had some games that at the end of the schedule that didn't favor them, but they still won the regular season title comfortably. Mm-hmm. But they did lose at home to Alabama and to Florida, and so they are vulnerable. So, yeah.
What are some of the things you guys noticed in the bracket? So Louisville's in Lexington. Here's one I got. UNC got in. Texas got in that playing game. You've got Providence in. Oklahoma also getting in. 14 SEC teams in the SEC tournament. Excuse me, the NCAA tournament, most ever. I mean, what else stood out to you about the bracket release that came out last night? North
Carolina doesn't deserve to be in the tournament. West Virginia does, but you know what? They're dogs, both of those teams. I mean, it's like when you're picking the bottom of the barrel is going to have some scum on it. I mean, it just is, and I think neither one of those teams should be around for the first weekend. I mean, they're not going to win 2 or 3 games. So
speaking of West Virginia, apparently Rich Rodriguez has banned TikTok in his football team's locker room. I don't know if you saw that, to as quoted by saying, to keep a hard edge within his football team. So
good for him.
None of the West Virginia Mountaineers will be on TikTok with the football team, or if they are, they're going to get in trouble for it, I guess.
I think there's, as you look through the brackets, there's potential big time brand name matchups in the Sweet 16. I mean, you look in the bottom right corner. You see UCLA down there. You also see Tennessee. You look up in the top, and you see Duke sitting there. Can they get past Mississippi State in round 2? And if they do, you could have, Oregon? Yeah, you could have Oregon there, or you could have Arizona there. So, I think there's some potential for some really neat second round, and then having a week to build up to it, Sweet 16 matchups that are going to occur as well.
Yeah, I believe that's right. I mean, the first week of the tournament is cool, but just because it's nonstop basketball, and there'll be a buzzer beater here or there. No productivity in the office. Ty's there are a lot of things that Ty uses for excuse not to work. Wedding reception being one of them. But the first week of the NCAA tournament, he's just like, sorry, Tommy, not getting any work. Yeah. I mean, this is my work. I've got to be able to talk about this in the morning.
It's exactly what I tell my wife.
It's a hard life.
Yeah.
Someone has to do it, I guess. Yeah. That's the way you got to look at it. No, but in this situation, Set yourself up. Let the boss know early. Hey, I'm not gonna be productive Thursday and Friday. You know what time of year it is. I think bosses are understanding.
Just make sure that you know the boss.
Yeah. And you
make sure they're still your boss when you get done.
If you don't, you'll have a new one.
Yeah. So, hey, if you haven't downloaded the Oaklawn Sports app, this is the week to do it. With March Madness coming up, you get the $1,000 in bonus bets. How that works is when you deposit your initial deposit, you're automatically enrolled, and you get a second chance on your first bet each of your first 10 days up to $100 when you download the Oaklawn app. And, Ty, I know how you love the parlays, so you want the Oaklawn Sports app because you get a 10% profit boost on new 3-leg parlays, and you can earn up to a 10% boost when it's plus 1,000. It becomes plus 1,100 on your parlay. So download it now. The brand you know, the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
All right, we talked about the SEC tournament a little bit. When we come back, we'll jump more into it during your SEC update. Plus, what did Bill Self have to say about your Razorback basketball team? That's next on the Morning Rush.
You're listening to the Morning Rush on a Hot Take Monday, presented by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
This is the Morning Rush.
The Golf Nut is thrilled to introduce new products for 2025, including Cobra Dark Speed Adapt Woods and Irons, King G440 Woods and Irons, and TaylorMade QI35 Woods. Lap putters, including the latest OZ model, are also available. Whether you want to improve your swing or enjoy the game, the Golf Nut offers a range of options. Book a lesson or fitting on one of our indoor simulators and experience golfing greatness. Visit the Golf Nut at 5121 Towson Avenue for your ultimate golfing destination.
This is Coke Zero Sugar. Could I be the best Coke ever? Try and taste with your ears. Hear those bubbles? Imagine them tingling on your tongue. Fizzy deliciousness. Listen to that cascading liquid. A mouth-watering waterfall. Irresistibly tasty. Zero sugar. Crisp, refreshing, and ice cold. Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Try and decide.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson, my buddy Simon Wheeler with Wheeler Power Sports. Stop by the studio.
If you have a name brand motorcycle, ATV, or side-by-side you would consider selling or trading, call or text or use bike buyers at 479-783-5822 or visit us online at WheelerPowersports.com. Buy, sell, or trade Wheeler is the one for 2025. Try to be Fort Smith's authorized dealer for Kawasaki, Suzuki, Polaris, and Slingshot.
Simon Wheeler at Wheeler Power Sports in downtown Fort Smith, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Decisions aren't hard when no matter what you choose, you win. Like with Taco Bell's new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes. Choose from the $5 classic box with iconic favorites like a beefy 5-layer burrito, the $7 Supreme box with the chicken chalupa Supreme, and more. Or find new obsessions in the $9 Discovery box. Get yours at Taco Bell today. At participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Price and participation varies. Drinks excludes freezes. Tax extra.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The homestead tax credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
The SEC is the best conference in America.
The tough will survive in this game, and I feel like the SEC is the toughest.
Arkansas is the SEC champion.
You know, every game is a dogfight. We're about the toughest there is. Week in and week out, you're going to play some of the best, the biggest, the fastest.
The Hawks have finally holds the first SEC tournament championship for Arkansas.
Where opponents' dreams come to die.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
They last won it in 2014. This is their 5th all-time SEC tournament championship. Congratulations to Todd Golden and the Florida Gators.
As they defeat the Tennessee Volunteers the Alabama Crimson Tide 104. No, I was right. Tennessee 86-77. I had the wrong date on that. 86-77, the final. As you just heard Dan Schulman's call there, doing it for the first time in over a decade. One of the hottest teams in college basketball right now. Does that jinx them?
I was getting ready to ask you, do you like a more or less for the Final Four or the national title?
I told you leading up to the SEC tournament, I like Florida to lose the SEC tournament, win the national title. As dumb as this may sound, I like them less now.
I like Alabama more. I'm not going to say I'm on the fence about Auburn from a Final Four perspective, but they're not playing well. They're not playing their best basketball, at least right now. Now, they can tune it up in a hurry, but they're scaring me a little bit.
Yeah, it was. It is a situation where I think Florida fans are like happy, but at the same time, they're in the back of their mind. It's like, is this the best thing we need?
And since we're doing the SEC update, let me just pose this question: you got 14 teams in. How many do you need to see in the Sweet 16 for people and the national pundits, the Danny Cannells of the world, not to be saying the SEC is the big flop conference this year? There's always a conference that you expect a lot out of. They got 7, 8, 9 bids in. And then they just fall flat on their face. Mm-hmm. And then it was last year, the Pac-12, a league that we thought was, on its, knowing it was on its way out, would not perform well. And, I believe they performed pretty well in the tournament last year, if I remember right. Obviously did in football on its swan song. Is the SEC set up for failure no matter what? Because you do have 14 teams. How many does it take to clear the threshold to call it a successful postseason campaign?
I would say half.
Ooh, that's a lot.
7.
I mean, when you look at
not 8 of 16, 7 get 7 teams, so half those teams make the Sweet 16.
I would say 4. I would say just a quarter would be enough, but 7.
I mean, Texas isn't a Sweet 16 team, so they're. I'm just looking over. Oklahoma could be. Don't expect them to be, but. Probably wouldn't advance them. They play UConn. That's a saucy game, too, by the way. Is Arkansas a Sweet 16 team? Is that a team you think can win 2 playing Kansas and perhaps St. John's? So you look through the matchups, and I don't know. I'm kind of more along the lines of Colton. 5 or 6 would be awesome.
Okay.
7 seems greedy.
Seems too high. Okay.
4, 5, 6, somewhere. 5's the number I had in my head.
Okay.
I still don't think 4 is enough. I still think if you get 4, Tommy, you will hear from the Danny Cannells of the world that'll say it's not enough.
But I think if you had 7, the Danny Cannells of the world will still show up.
What about Final Four? 2? Or just 1? You
I
got
think too.
14 of 68 teams from the league.
But if you get one, that doesn't mean you had a failure of a year.
In my mind, if an SEC team doesn't come out and win the national championship, then all this hullabaloo about the conference being the best ever in the history of college basketball is not valid. Like again, we separate the regular season from the postseason too often, and it does not validate that thought process.
You've got 2 1s and 2 2s, obviously. It was, what was it? Dan Schulman said, I think it was the highest or the lowest total of rankings of 4 teams in a conference semifinal ever.
Yeah.
I mean, when you looked at the collection and the conference tournament played out pretty much like I said it was going to.
Mm-hmm.
Those teams with the double bye, the other teams stood no chance. I mean, it was a 4-team tournament. The other people that played, Wednesday, Thursday, they were just there for window dressing.
Yeah, on for Saturday and Sunday.
They weren't even the appetizers. They were the cocktail. They were the cashews and the peanuts that were waiting on you before you entered the bar.
It was intense. I mean, Auburn and Tennessee was intense. Alabama and Florida was intense.
Saturday was awesome in Nashville. Did you go to those games?
I did not go to those games. I went to the Arkansas. The only games I watched was Arkansas Wednesday and Arkansas.
And you had a free ticket to go see those 2 games, and you didn't go?
They kind of they boot you into a much lesser desirable spot after your team loses. So
yeah, but I've set up that hockey press box. Still a good seat to see those kind of games.
And
can you imagine a better double? There won't be the double header at the Final Four won't be as good as that. I mean, those were 2 games back to back that were better than what you'll see at the Final Four, would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. Well, you had 2 good games back to back in baseball. Man, Veheva Alois, he's playing some good ball right now.
1 strike pitch on Aloy. There's a high drive by Veheva. Deep into center. He got absolutely all of it. And it's back-to-back home run. Aloy hits the ball over the center field fence after Davalon goes deep. It's number 7 for Veheva Aloy.
So Arkansas dominates Ole Miss on Saturday, and then you come back from 9-8 down in the 9th and ended up winning that game 12-9 yesterday, giving you another SEC series win. You have not lost an SEC opening series since 2016 on the road against South Carolina. That streak continues, and Arkansas stays hot. And I know, again, a lot has been said about the pitching staff thus far, but it's really your bats that saved you this weekend.
Absolutely. And, the win, and then you moved the game time. It was weird series because Friday you moved up to 2:30. Saturday you moved back to 6 o'clock. I mean, it was just, I know it was all weather related, but it's kind of a weird series in that regard. And once Arkansas got hot in that 5th inning on on Saturday, they never looked back. They just did not get off to the right start defensively and from a pitching standpoint on Friday. I thought they more than atoned for that on Saturday and Sunday.
Here's what Dave Van Horn had to say about Veheva Aloy and his great, not just game, but over the weekend too.
Super happy to see it because if we didn't have him today, obviously you knocked down a bunch of RBI. I think he drove in 5 with 2 swings and just had a great day. And they had to make some decisions over there today to pitch to Veheva or just throughout the day. I mean, they even walked and advanced a runner from first to second on an intentional walk because they didn't want to pitch to Maxwell because he was swinging it so well this weekend, and it paid off for him. But that last swing was the one that obviously finished it up and gave us a 3-run lead.
So happy Dave Van Horn after the game, and now Arkansas gets South Carolina back at home this weekend. But before that, you'll play Oral Roberts tomorrow night, and then also Wednesday afternoon. All right, real quick as we round out your SEC update. Games again, 14 SEC teams involved. The Texas game Tommy referred to is one of those planned games that you'll have initially. I don't know where it went on my sheet, but it's Xavier. The winner of that will get Illinois, the matchup. But just littered Georgia against Gonzaga. Auburn has a 16th seed either St. Francis or Alabama State. Tennessee against Wofford. That could be a sneaky upset pick. Your Arkansas Razorbacks taking on the Jayhawks. A&M against Yale. I'm picking Yale, picking the Bulldogs in that one. And then Drake against Missouri. Some of these are just really good mid-major teams that I'd be a little scared of if I was an SEC opponent looking at these.
Yeah, so get to hitthatline.com right now. We got our bracket contest up there. I got our great sponsors to help us bring this to you again this year. You can do your own public and private groups. So if you and your buddies, you got the national deals, but you can do your own deal and still be in on our prizes. So it's really easy. Just go to hitthatline.com, click on the, what do we got that label? Bracket?
Just hitthatline.com/bracket.
/bracket, but where's it on the menu bar? What do we got labeled?
I think bracket contest.
Bracket contest. So it'll be pretty obvious for you right there. So be sure and do that now. All right, that's your SEC updates brought to you by WT Equipment. If you're looking for the best way to save big as we head into spring, WT Equipment has you covered with exclusive savings on select Workmaster and Boomer compact tractors from New Holland. You can choose your best deal that includes 0% financing for 72 months or opt for a free loader with your tractor purchase right now. These are powerful, fuel-efficient tractors that are built for hard work and year-round reliability. They all come with unbeatable savings right now at WT Equipment. These deals I'm talking about end on March the 31st, so lock in your deal right now at WT Equipment in Springdale. Call them at 479-442-8284. That's 442-8284. Go to WTEquip.com.
So the SEC tournament, not the only conference tournament this weekend. Big East happened as well. St. John's gets it done. The Red Storm, who are also in your region. Here's Rick Pitino after the game.
Coach, how do you celebrate tonight? I'm going to drink a quart of Jameson's.
So he was entertaining. And being that you are playing in Providence, Rhode Island, one of Rick Pitino's old stomping grounds. And there's an old clip that I've seen so many times of him and former Florida and Oklahoma City Thunder and Chicago Bulls head coach Billy Donovan that maybe you've heard or seen before back in the day.
Okay, Billy, let's just take the change of pace. Come at me, change your pace, full speed. Put the shoulder in jail. Now go at the guy, Bill. Change your pace once again. All right, Bill, now let's go right. Come at me right, slow up, blow by me. Now the same thing going that way, Bill. Go at him right and blow by him.
It's so crazy because I only think of Billy Donovan as a coach, but obviously he played for the Friars and Coach Pitino back in the day. But you think about pit stops in Providence, Lexington, a little bit with the Boston Celtics, Louisville, Iona, St. John's. I might be missing one in there just off the top of my head, but I don't know between like a region and a setup if you have three more notable coaches in the NCAA tournament than Pitino, Self, and Calipari.
Star-studded there. And my mind couldn't help but go to Mike Anderson a little bit. And, he was, angered by the way he was ousted at St. John's. But then you look and see what they've done. I know the NIL and the market we're now in college basketball has changed so much even over 24 months. But, man, you look at what's happening there now at St. John's versus Mike Anderson's period. That, I just wonder what's going through his mind on watching their success unfold.
Yeah, because again, Pitino took over, I guess, 2 years ago, and now
this is his second.
Yeah, this
season,
is his second year, and now they have again. There was a graphic I saw on social media, like Pitino in year one often starts better than the year before, and then that year two they really lock in and become a force to be reckoned with potentially for the NCAA tournament.
And you talk about year ones. I mean, we forget John Calipari is in his first year at Arkansas and got to the tournament. How many other coaches have done that at Arkansas? Got to the tournament in their first year.
Isn't Pelfrey the only one?
Yep. You are correct.
And that was because a lot of Stan Heath players, but yeah, that's the one that I remember.
So I mean, so let's not overlook or brush over the fact that I know that the landscape's changed, as I just mentioned a moment ago, but getting to the tournament in your first year in a program at Arkansas has not been easy to do. And what he did at St. John's or what happened here, I think those programs parallel each other in a lot of ways.
Mentioned Bill Self, obviously your competition, your coaching counterpart on Thursday night. Arkansas did play Bill Self. And remember 2 years ago, I think it was a heart condition of some sort, Tommy, that he didn't coach. And I'm forgetting the name of his assistant that was out there, but this will be a different matchup, not just because of
Norm Stewart. Oh, you didn't have your mic.
Okay, just because of personnel wise, that's the difference. Not just because of you're having to go up against Hunter Dickinson, Rylan Griffin, and others, but you'll actually go up against Coach Self this Thursday.
Yep. Hey, it's the spring swim event at Burton Pools and Spas. Burton's is making a huge splash right now, giving away 4 Intex pools. That's worth $2,000. You can enter right now to win at any of their 3 locations, Fort Smith, Greenland, and Springdale, and stock up and save. Plus, you can get 15% off your summer water care supply. So You can take $30 off. You can get some big savings right now. $30 off on a 25-pound bucket of chlorine tabs right now during this sale. So don't miss it. The spring swim event, Burton Pools and Spas. Win one of these pools. Fort Smith, Greenland, and in Springdale and online at burtonpools.com.
It's a hard draw, but that's the position that certainly that we're in, and every other 7 seed is in. I like it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
I didn't catch the reaction from the Kansas Jayhawks following that, but I would think that they're excited to play Arkansas based on what happened in that preseason game. And we have to emphasize preseason because, again, full rosters weren't there, but they got kind of embarrassed by a couple young players for Arkansas in that game. And whether it's DeJuan Harris, who has been around college basketball for what seems like a decade, KJ Adams, who's on that team along with Harris a few years ago in Des Moines when you beat him in the NCAA tournament, they don't have good feelings towards Arkansas. And even though that Trevin Brazile was the only guy that really was on that roster, and he wasn't even playing, by the way, because of his ACL injury, you're going to get a very motivated Kansas team, which I don't think you've seen consistently through this season. But you better play well, or I could see it like getting ugly just based on their motivation for this game.
Had a text on the Lewis Automotive Hotline wondering, should Musselman's first year count as far as making it to the tournament? We never really know because, remember, they went to Nashville and it got shut down. It was the COVID year.
Yeah, you beat Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And you were going to play South Carolina. And then
Good text, good point on the Lewis Automotive Group Hotline, but we sure like to have seen how that was going to pan out and if they were going to, indeed be in that field, but they were certainly headed that way.
By the way, Cal, let's see, he got a contract extension and a $50,000 raise based on them making the NCAA tournament. Based on them.
I'm sure that's going to change his life.
Yeah, it would change
mine.
I
mean, it would change all of our lives, right?
Yeah.
If we got a collective $50,000 raise, so that was split up, $45,000 for me, $3,000 for $4,000 for Colton, a grand for you. I mean, that would be great.
$4,000 would be awesome.
I would take a grand.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. But we just split it up. Even Steven.
If you are a season ticket holder and you want to go out to Providence,
he won't even notice it.
Yeah.
It'll be a rounding error.
Well, that's a piece of furniture for Ellen and in the house. Razorback Foundation members and by the way, season ticket holders, you've got to request tickets by 5:00 today, and you'll get updated by tomorrow about that. Again,
I wonder how many will go.
And that's what I was thinking. It's a 24-hour drive because I had some
out.
Yeah, that's
out.
That did not seem appealing, and we had.
If I'd have known that, we wouldn't have booked you a plane ticket.
Well, Ruskin and Zach were really pushing for me to take a train all the way there. It would take like 2 days, and that would.
You could have left yesterday.
I know that does not sound fun, but
I'm gonna tell you, they go up there and lose though. I'm canceling the ticket, and I'm gonna buy you one on Greyhound. We're going to send you on the Greyhound back.
That would be tough. But no, we went through
That'd be like 2 weeks.
issue this morning. We flying out at 12, not getting there till nearly 10:30 that
Well, there's
night.
not exactly a lot of direct options.
No.
Even out of Dallas, here, we've got you going to Dallas. This is the frustrating thing. I know we're up against it.
Let it loose.
Okay, and I know it's not a What's Your Beef Wednesday. We got you booked out of Little Rock. You're going to fly to Dallas, and then get on a plane, and then you connect through, I think, Chicago or somewhere going up into Providence.
Yeah.
Connect somewhere up there.
Yeah, I forget
All
which
right?
one.
Of course, this will come to no surprise to anyone in the audience. Wedding boy here says, well, would you mind if I just flew out of Dallas so I can go to if I get back in time, I got a wedding to go to in Austin on Saturday.
If they
lose.
Which, by the
first
way,
of all, he's rooting for him to lose and go to the wedding.
Here we go.
So I'm like, whatever. So I check, go to rearrange the flight. Instead of getting on the plane in Little Rock, connecting in Dallas, just drive to Dallas. Now, common sense says that would be more cost effective, right?
Correct.
Because we're eliminating one leg of the flight. We're eliminating that flight but no, it's roughly $200 more for you to drive to Dallas and get on the same dadgum plane you'd get on there anyway. So we're saving $182 by you flying
out of
Little Rock to Dallas to get on the same plane. That makes no sense whatsoever.
Come on, Southwest, official airline of the SEC. No bags flying free.
No, your bags are flying free. So,
and when does that start? May?
Well, when they start booking tickets, I got to checking all the airfare I booked through the rest of this year is still good for it.
Okay. I'm also going to bring heavy clothes because Providence being in the Northeast, just in case. And unlike San Francisco, which I was packing nothing but Hawaiians and khaki shorts until you had said something to me. But I know at least
I wish I hadn't.
Northeast, that would have been tough. Northeast.
Oh, I wish I hadn't.
I know to pack heavy.
It's California.
It is California. Just didn't know it was cold. Thank God. Thank goodness.
It's California. Isn't that the big long state out on the left end? Yeah.
It's close there.
Yeah, isn't that it?
Let's see. Thursday in Providence, Rhode Island, it is a high of 52 and a low of 39. Those Yankees aren't going to know what hit them when the Rednecks coming to town. Woo pig, baby. Beat Kansas. Move on to Saturday. Take a shot at the Red Storm. Red Storm aren't out of the gate. Omaha's had a really good season under Crutchfield.
Yeah.
Who knows what could happen there.
All right, we are brought to you by Gaston's White River Resort. Talk about getting away, taking a couple days off, getting off the grid, watching basketball. You could get to Gaston's, do some fishing from 7:30, get wrapped up by lunchtime, be in there to catch most of the first wave of games, and then just hunker down in the cabin or in their bar area and watch games the rest of the day. Get food brought to the cabin, be an awesome place. You might call and see if they got some openings for March Madness. 870-431-5202. Fish by morning, basketball all afternoon and evening. Wash, rinse, repeat the next day. How cool would that be? 870-431-5202. Gaston's White River Resort. A first-class time every time.
It's Hot Take Monday on the Morning Rush. Hot Take Monday is brought to you by Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hunting for a fortune? X marks the cash. 5 new lottery scratchers are loaded with prizes and waiting to be discovered. Multiply your prize 10, 50, up to 200 times. Ticket prices range from $1 to $20. Top prices start at $5,000 and go all the way to $500,000. Find the X and find the cash. Available now at lottery retailers. Call or text 1-800-522-4700 for Problem Gambling Helpline.
Spring camping season is here. Don't miss the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th at 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway in Rogers, just behind Newt's. Sponsored by 2 of the state's largest RV dealers, Wheels RV and Moix RV. With brands you love like Grand Design, Jayco, Brinkley, Flagstaff, Coachman, Catalina, Vibe, and Winnebago, and on-site financing available. There will be a variety of vendors and bounce house for the kids and so much more. So make plans now to attend the NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and 13th, 5102 West Pauline Whitaker Parkway, Rogers.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Razorback!
Dozy Place has now been serving award-winning steaks for over 20 years. Celebrate your special birthday, holiday, person, or just because at Dozy Place. Start with delicious appetizers and your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Dozy Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended, so call 784-9111. 784-9111 for Dozy Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Save up to $5,000 on select Buick Envisions at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The Buick Envision showcases inspired design with exclusive features in this 5-passenger SUV. Or drive the brand new Buick Envista, a stylish crossover, for as low as $399 per month. These are limited time offers. Experience the new Buick at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith or online at harryrobinson.com.
The Solid Rock has been locally owned for over 46 years. When was the last time you were there? So much more than a bookstore. They have Christian t-shirts, church supplies, Bible studies, devotionals, home decor, gifts, and of course, a large selection of Bibles. And Bibles are engraved free of charge while you wait. Now, you can get custom laser engraving on select gift items and some Bibles. Located next to Sam's Club on South 74th, The Solid Rock is your source for faith-based books, music, clothing, and more. The Solid Rock, 452-4844.
The Bush Guide, cold and smooth survival skills. For a successful stint in the great outdoors, pack accordingly. Place heavy essentials near your spine for stability in rough terrain, with light items near the bottom. Now, you may be wondering, where does the Bush Light go? In your stomach. Head for the mountains. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2023, Anheuser-Busch, Bush Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Ignorant when it comes to a lot of topics. Thankfully, I listened to my friend's advice on the housing market and called Jeff Marks at Weicker Realtors, the Griffin Company. Jeff made the process smoother than Mama's gravy.
Ty, you got to throw in some homemade biscuits with that gravy and a great local real estate professional to guide you down the right path. One of the keys is knowing what to do and certainly what not to do.
You communicated and were transparent throughout the process.
Ty, like you, anyone can call me, Jeff Marks, at 479-414-1193. For your big decisions, I have simple solutions.
I want barbecue that's sliced thick, smoked long, and so tender it melts in your mouth. Sides that will fill me up like a twice-baked potato, baked beans, hand-cut fries, okra, Texas toast. You know what I'm talking about? A restaurant where the whole family can go and get a great meal for a great price. Where the owner actually comes to your table to make sure everything tastes great. I'll tell you what I want. I want Jerry Neal's.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
All right, short segment as we close out here on a Hot Take Monday, brought to you by Wheels RV. We'll try and get to your calls coming up in just a sec.
Hey, they've opened a new office for Bach Legal Solutions in Salisaw. Having their grand opening coming up next month. We'll be telling you more about that. But not only do they handle family law, which Jackie's got 13 years of experience in, but also car wrecks, slip and falls, dog bite cases. I mean, pretty much in anything you find yourself in the middle of, she can help you from either side of it. And they understand that, times are a little hard right now, and most of us here that, we work for a living, we don't have a $5,000 retainer just sitting around ready to, hand it over as a down payment on our legal fees. They get that, and that's one reason they go the extra mile with easy down payments, low flat fees, low down payments, and monthly fees that they can set up on a payment plan for you as well. 479-769-1505, 769-1505, or go to mocklegalsolutions.com.
All right, Justin's in Rogers here on the Lewis Automotive Group hotline. Justin, you got about 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. I was just wondering, I didn't get to listen to the baseball games this weekend. Did we win 2 or 3 or lose 2 or 3?
1, 2, or 3. Got another opening series.
We mashed our way out in games 2 and 3. We just outscored them. I know you always outscore them, but it was literally a slugfest in that one.
All right, I guess Justin,
that's all he had.
You got 2 or 3 this weekend, which I know you're excited about. Hey, we appreciate everyone joining us here on a Hot Take Monday. We're going to be live in Providence, Rhode Island, starting Thursday morning. Excited to bring you exclusive pregame coverage and postgame stuff here on ESPN Arkansas. And Tommy, you got a perfect lead in 6:10 on Thursday night, CBS.
Yep, we'll walk you right up to it. So if you see 7, just know that's Eastern time when you're looking at your bracket. Hot Take Monday brought to you by Wheels RV. 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale. The best brands at the best prices, and their NWA RV Show and Outdoor Party, April 12th and the 13th. Find out more at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off I-49 in Springdale.
Halftime coming up
Tommy
next.
Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as